Hi everyone, I'm Gizelyne, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the muscular system. So first, what is the muscular system? The muscular system is composed of specialized cells called muscle fibers, which looks like this. Their predominant function is contractility. Muscles attached to bones or internal organs and blood vessels are responsible for movements. Nearly all movements in our body is the result of muscle contraction. The function of the muscular system is that it permits movement of the body, maintains posture, and circulates blood throughout the body. The muscular system is responsible for the creation of movement or locomotion. Skeletal muscles allow movement or locomotion in animals, especially voluntary movements. In total, there are 3 distinct types of muscles in the muscular system. There is skeletal muscles, cardiac or heart muscles, and smooth non-striated muscles. The function of the skeletal muscles is that it enables humans to move and perform daily activities. They play an essential role in respiratory mechanics and help in maintaining posture and balance. They also protect the vital organs in the body. The function of the cardiac or heart muscles is that it forms the muscles surrounding the heart, with the function of the muscle being to cause the mechanical motion of pumping blood throughout the rest of the body. Unlike skeletal muscles, this movement is involuntary as to sustain life. Lastly, the function of the smooth, non-striated muscles is that it is present throughout the body, where it serves a variety of functions. It is in the stomach and intestines, where it helps with digestion and nutrient collection. It exists throughout the urinary system, where it functions to help rid the body of toxins and work in electrolyte balance. How does the muscular system works? Most muscle works in pair to produce movement. One muscle pulls a bone one way and another muscle pulls the bone in the opposite way. Like for example, when you take a step, 200 muscles work in unison to lift your foot, propel it forward, and set it down. The bones are connected to the skeletal muscles with tough bands of connective tissues called epimysium. A flexor is a muscle that causes a joint to bend when it contracts. Now I'm going to be telling you guys the parts of the muscular system and its function. First, we have the masseter. The masseter muscles is one of the 4 muscles responsible for the action of mastication, or known as chewing. When the masseter contracts, it causes powerful elevation of the mandible, causing the mouth to close. Second, we have the deltoid. An important function of deltoid is the prevention of subluxation or even dislocation of the hand of the humerus, particularly when carrying a load. Deltoid is the prime mover of shoulder abduction. Third, we have the pectoralis major. The pectoralis major extends across the upper part of the chest and is attached to a ridge at the rear of the humerus, the bone of the upper arm. Its major actions are abduction or depression of the arm, in opposite to the action of deltoideus muscle, and rotation of the arm forward about the axis of the body. Next one, we have the biceps brachii. Primary function of the biceps brachii is flexion of the elbow and supination of the forearm. In fact, it is the prime mover of forearm supination. Since it crosses the glenohumeral joint, it also serves to assist shoulder elevation. The fifth one is the brachioradialis. The brachioradialis flexes the forearm up at the elbow. Depending on the position of the hand during the flexion, the brachioradialis can tend to move the hand to neutral. The next one that we have is the rectus abdominis. The main function of the rectus abdominis is to move the body between the ribcage and the pelvis. External oblique muscles, these are on each side of the rectus abdominis. The external oblique muscles allow the trunk to twist, but to the opposite side of whichever external oblique is contracting. Since we were talking about external oblique just now, the next part of the muscular system I'm going to be discussing about is the external oblique. The external oblique on either side not only help rotate the trunk, but they perform a few other vital functions. These muscles help pull the chest as a whole downwards, which compresses the abdominal cavity. The external oblique muscle also supports the rotation of the spine. Next, we have the sartorius. The function of the sartorius is unique in that it can serve as both a hip and a knee flexor. The origin for the sartorius is the anterior superior iliac spine, sharing this origin with the tensor fasciolata. At the hip, it acts to both flex the hip as well as externally rotate. Now we have the rectus femoris. By acting on the hip joint, it helps with thigh flexion. When its patellar attachment is fixed, this muscle aids to flex the pelvis anteriorly towards the thigh. Rectus femoris is also capable of simultaneously flexing the hip and extending the knee. The next one we have is the vastus retroralis. It works with the other quad muscles to help extend your knee joint. It also is active in maintaining thigh and kneecap position while walking and running. After the vastus lateralis, we now have the vastus medialis. Together with the other muscles that make up quadriceps femoris, extends the knee joint, and it also contributes to correct tracking of patella. Now we're at the gastrocnemius. It produces flexion of the leg and the knee joint and plantar flexion of the foot at the talocrular joint, or known as ankle mortise. Further, the gastrocnemius is most effective when the knee is in an extended position and the ankle is plantar flexed. Lastly, we have the tibialis anterior. The tibialis anterior is the strongest dorsiflexor of the foot. Dorsiflexion is critical to gait because this movement clears the foot off the ground during the swing phase. The tibialis anterior, along with the tibialis posterior, is also a primary inverter of the foot. So that was the last topic that I'm going to be talking about. I really hope everyone can understand my explanation about the muscular system, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!
These are all the sources where I've gathered my informations from.